my name is Mackie, and welcome to First Stand Report. It is 8:13 p.m. on the very first day of spring, March 21st, 2026, in a downtown jubilant, clear skies, Port Antonio, Jamaica. We got the stadium lights going on from Carter Park, like way over there. I could just see the lights from the stadium from way over there. And welcome to probably the most historic day in all of League of Legends history. Not just First Stand history, League of Legends history. Now, we're not going to the candy shop, guys. We're not going to the candy shop. We're not doing 50 Cent. We're not going to the candy shop, everybody. But we are going to be celebrating if, what happens tomorrow, of course. Let me just tell you how significant today is. When I woke up this morning, I was thinking to myself, Gen.G is going to dominate 3-0, then dominate the finals, and then everybody will be talking about Gen.G being the greatest ever team to ever grace this tournament. And it's probably going to go through, all this year with LCK and then MSI, EWC, all the kind of stuff. I was thinking that Gen.G is going to dominate this entire tournament. I picked Gen.G as my number one team to win. I picked Gen.G as favorites to dominate the entire tournament, go 12-0 and all kinds of stuff. And even if they do stumble a little bit, I still see Gen.G as pretty much the best 5-man team. I rank them as high as S tier in some of their players. So, going into that series against G2, who, by the way, just having an incredible victory over FearX, which, to be honest, FearX did not do basically nothing in that entire series. This is mostly a Han Sama, Skewmond kind of series. Going to that series, I was thinking to myself, if Gen.G were to get at least a game, that would consider be an achievement. That would be considered the greatest thing to ever happen. To get 2 will be a magnificent. But to get 3, to pull off an upset, will be the greatest thing to ever happen since 2019. It will be significant, earth-shadowing, expectations blown, all that kind of stuff. And then the series happened. The entire series happened, and I swear to God, I am going to swear, I already did that from yesterday, but I'm going to swear when I'm going to show you the results and say the following words: what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? This is not an AI typo. This is not a pinch me if you're dreaming, all kind of stuff. This is not just like, what? That happened? That happened. That happened. G2 demolishes the favorites to win First Stand, the LCK Cup champions, the number one team in all their rankings. And they did it in the most cleanest way ever possible. I swear to God, it was like, EUphoria. It was the podcast before it shut down. It was EUphoria. It was like 94 minutes of euphoria for G2, for every LEC fan. But anyway, Atlas, CHOVY, and Vedios, who by the way casted the whole thing. And I swear to God, if you're Atlas, deep down inside, you are feeling absolutely dread for Gen.G. But if you are an EU fan today, this is the most glorious thing that ever happened. This is the first time that G2 has ever made the finals since 2019. This is the first time that G2 has ever beaten 2 LCK teams since that 2019 Worlds. And this is probably the biggest upset in terms of expectations in the history of League of Legends. By a country mile. By a country mile. Do you know how significant this is? Listen, I haven't reached Polymarket odds throughout the entire tournament, but I bet you Polymarket have Gen.G winning this tournament like 65, 66%. G2 is kind of like a 20, like 15%. And basically, based on how G2 have performed this entire tournament, because let's be honest, going into First Stand, I was never expecting G2 to do much. I was expecting to be like, maybe semifinals at least, but never be like, good enough to even win. If they can manage to get to semifinals, that's great. Good job. Well done, semifinals. Get beaten by Gen.G, and that's that. But for this to happen, hope springs eternal. To quote Quickshot from 2019 MSI, where were you when the West rose up and conquered champions? And by the way, if anybody don't know, Quickshot is now part of the G2 thing with the Hopium thing. I bet his podcast right now, his Hopium podcast, is going through the roof right now with all of this. It is incredible. It is absolutely mind-blowing. I have to do the games. I have to do the games for you justice. Game 1 was, oh my god, this was the Skewmond show. This entire series was the Skewmond show. The Fearex series was the Han Summer show. This was the Skewmond show. 4-0-7 on the Pantheon. Caps did incredibly, of course, in that damage, of course, especially on the Baron fight, of course. Han Summer put up an amazing performance on that Misfortune, doing a lot of damage, of course. LeBroff! I mean, you can talk about, like, Skewmond having a great performance. LeBroff was putting up an incredible performance. 11 assists on Nautilus. 11 assists! And BROKENBLADE is just be a tank. And it's like, cool. Selfless top laner as usual. 8 assists, no deaths, Sion being tanky as usual, and Gen.G cannot even touch anything. They got Ashe Seraphine combo, and they can't even touch anything. Keen Renekton look worthless. Worthless, to be honest. Absolutely worthless, in my opinion. And once G2 got, like, the comp that's pretty much gonna scale and do everything like that, it was over. There is no chance that Gen.G's comp can do anything. Like, Ashe damage, fine, but where's the other damage? Where's the damage? Your Xin Zhao, your Galio? I don't see anything. G2 just stopped them. Just absolutely stopped them from pillar to post. Skewmond was incredible. LeBron was incredible. And if you look at the goal graph, it was teetering, of course, but then it was like, oh. Yeah, it was over. Absolute domination from pillar to post. Game 1 was absolutely incredible. Like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Just look at the jungle difference. This is the jungle difference, guys. Remember, Canyon was probably the best jungler on all the team from last year. He was probably the best jungler in the world right now. And look what Skewmond has done to him. Skewmond, by the way, the crucial play, by the way, which I think Nightmare, of course, done in his stream, of course, is when he got his level 6 onto Crab, gone to his Pantheon, and then with the help of LeBron, kill off Duro, who, by the way, having an absolute stinker of a game with Seraphine, of course. The absolute brain plays for Skewmond to do it, for a rookie to do it. This is only, his second year? This is only his second year and he's done this. This is incredible. This is absolutely mind-blowing from Skewmond. This is, I was blown away from what happened at Game 1. And I was thinking to myself, okay, G2, congratulations, you got Game 1. Marvelous. Now Gen.G is going to, 3-1. You done well. Congratulations. Get like gentleman sweep, of course. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen, guys, because Game 2 was even better. Goodness of gracious. Keen, what the fuck do you play Vayne with? Vayne into Cassante. Like, in hindsight, it was a good idea. You got the Vi and Ari combo, of course. You got Sivir and Alistar. That's a good idea in theory. That's a good idea. But in reality, my goodness, man. Skewmond once again being an absolute beast. 2-1-6 on the Zahian. Varus, Han Sama Varus was absolutely being Giga Chad. Braum was absolutely cooking, of course. There was a little oopsie at the second play, of course, right around when Duro kind of rammed the whole teams, and then everybody's dead, and everybody's like, uh-oh. Everybody's Europe fears is like, Gen.G might make a comeback. Gen.G might make the comeback, but then Skewmond decided to send it, end the game. I mean, Jesus Christ. Keen, man, too many mistakes. Walking in when Varus have R? Like, what the heck? Jesus Christ. I mean, I just cannot believe the amount of mistakes that Gen.G has. Like, look at CHOVY's items. Spellslinger shoes into Malengans into Protobelt? When Leandri's would have been a perfect idea against, Cassante and LeBron? You got two tanky champions. Build Leandri, for God's sakes. Like, come on. This is, listen, I know it's not, I know this is not me criticizing pros, of course, but Christ almighty, even analysts can know that this is a bad look, a bad build, of course. Like, The way Gen G2 played in that game, I was feeling to myself, wow, wow. I mean, Gen G played poorly, but G2 played great. Skewmond played great. Hansama played great. Caps played not great sometimes, but he played fine. He played incredibly fine, of course. And, you know, after that 2-0 series, and by the way, we look at the graph, by the way, it was like, great job. After that game 2, I was thinking to myself, okay, all right. G2 has done what no team has ever done to Gen.G all year. They have taken 2 games out of Gen.G. And by the way, I think Laura in her hosting, by the way, said this is the first time that Gen.G has lost 2 games at an international event since 2023 Worlds. 2023 Worlds. This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. A team of highly caliber players should never be in this position like this. Never. And they get outplayed by a full team G2. This is maddening. This is absolute madness. Absolute madness. And it only gets better. It only gets better. Or worse if you're a Gen.G fan. But for Europe, man, if you're Europe right now, you should play 30 minutes of Ode to Joy on loop. Because this was... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about Game 3. I mean, Gwen, sure, fine. You know, Canyon on Abessa, Jungle, you know, Chovy and Azir. Chovy and Jesus Christ. Azir mid lane. I just... Oh my god. Jesus Christ, man. And then you got the bot lane of Ruler and Nico. Like, there's like 1 CC on your team, and that's a Nico. Great job. Great job. And then for G2, look at the composition. Look at this beautifulness. Look at this beautifulness they have. They got Shen on the top lane. Ooh, we got the Alter, you got the Stan United and all kinds of stuff, and he's a building tank. You got Skewmond on that Jarvan. Pretty much the ready to ult in, do all the work in the cause. And then you got Akali diving into the backline, making Ruler feeling uncomfortable. And if you're thinking that is horrible, how about Kog'Maw Lulu? How about a Kog'Maw Lulu on your face? It just... Oh! And the worrying part about this G2 comp is that if Kog'Maw dies, who's going to be the other person damaged? Well, Caps can do that. Skewmond can do that. And I don't think Gen.G has any standing. They have no standing. This is 2015 Jogma on steroids. Literally on steroids. This is 2015 on steroids. It was incredible. Like, Capt was on fire, Skewmond was on fire, BROKENBLADE solo killing Chovy. Like, BROKENBLADE solo killing Chovy. BROKENBLADE solo killing Chovy. The church crumbled. The church of Chovy have crumbled under the feet of BROKENBLADE and the samurais. I just cannot believe what have I witnessed. What have I witnessed? And then you know, G2 just slowly bleed Gen.G out. Like, Gen.G did not even play the game. G2 for all 3 of their games, and like only the 1 oopsies, of course. Beside the 1 oopsie at the end of game 2, played the most virtuoso, clean, disciplined League of Legends I have ever seen from a Western team in a long time. See, NA, this is how you do it against an Eastern team. This. With discipline, with confidence, with rookies showing might. You do that, and you get beautiful moments like this. 2,000, I think Vedia said it in the broadcast, 2,000 plus days since G2 has last make it to an international final. And that was MSI 2019. They beat Team Liquid, of course, in the most brutal series ever. And G2 fans and EU fans across the freaking world rejoicing. Troublelink rejoicing, Yamato Cannon rejoices, Reckless rejoicing, Yankos, his old teammate, who by the way was on the team in 2019, rejoicing, Kitty rejoicing. It is just godsend. Listen, yesterday was supposed to be G2's final round, the victory against Fearex. No. This This is G2's finals hour. This is G2's finals hour. Hang that result in the Louvre air. If they don't steal it, of course. Hang this result in the Louvre air and just protect it with all the guards. And if you don't, just frame it, just send it to all the Korean social medias right now. Just remind them that we did this to you. We had no business being there, but we did this to you. And Skewmond did it to you. There are forum reports saying Skewmond is the best jungler in the world right now. It's like, pause. 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 He is not the best in the world, guys, okay? Let's just not go too crazy, okay? Based on this one result. I will say this. Skewmond right now is pretty much on the pillar of best jungler in the West right now. Everybody speaking, Inspired has already have that title? No. Here's the one thing that Inspired had never done. He never did this. He never did this. And he never did that against any Eastern team, whether against BLG, whether against the same Gen.G team, by the way. He never did that. Skewmond did in that one series alone. And he did it against FearX. And this is historic. This is the most historic presence you ever seen. It is just absolute craziness. This is the most hyped up thing in LEC history. Like, oh my god. I mean, oh my god. Oh my god. Like, I just can't believe it. I mean, look at the graph. Look at it was starting slowly, but then G2 just dominates and never let it go. They squeeze the light of Gen.G like it's nothing. Like oranges. It is insane. Like, I have no words. I have literally no words to say other than like my stars for this entire series. And by the way, I'm gonna do this later. By the way, this is later on, of course. But my star of this entire series, my 3 stars in the entire series, is basically Skewmond, Hansel, and Lebrov. And I'm saying this because when this entire tournament started, a lot of EU fans and a lot of Western fans are fearing if Caps go, the entire G2 goes. And let's be brutally honest, I don't think Caps have a great tournament. Caps have pretty much the worst tournament of his entire career. And it does not even matter. That is the scary part. G2 did all of this without the best mid laner in the world. It is insane. It is absolutely insane what they have done. It has brought, for the first time in my life, hope and joy and a smile to my face. I have never smiled for a Western team doing well in a long time. G2 Esports, by the way, is the reason why I did this League of Legends thing. This entire League of Legends channel is because of G2. Because of what they did in 2019. Because of what they have done to defeat Eastern teams. They are the reason why this channel exists. And I would listen, I'm going to say this right now in the front of the camera, and I'm going to say this. Thank you, G2. Thank you, G2 Esports, for giving every Western fan, including myself, hope, belief, and a trust that we have never have in so many years. You have brought Europe back to, I'm not saying greatness, but you have brought Europe back to the level of bringing hope again. And because of, your aggressiveness, you're willing to sacrifice, you're willing to take risk, it has led us to this. And also, I want to thank, Carmen Corp and Koi for pushing G2 into this. Because if it wasn't for Carmen Corp or Koi making them scrim and making them push hard and pushing all the buttons and exposing G2 for that. And remember, G2 was this close to not even be in this situation. That was close to not even be in this situation, to be honest. How did they not choke in that series? But they learn about this. They learn from their opponents. They learn all kinds of stuff. And yeah, the first part of the entire first stand was rough. Rough against BLG. But they scaled up. They improved. They show great coaching, they have shown great drafting, they have shown great discipline, and they have now reached on the cusp of history. And regardless of what happened, no matter what happens from here on out, even if they get beaten 3-0 by Bill G, I don't care. I don't care. G2 has made me a fan of League of Legends, smiling and hopeful and being great. So thank you, Roman, Dylan Falco, Broken Blade, Skewmond, Caps, Hot Summer Labrov. Thank you all for making me believe in you guys. And right now, if you're an LEC fan right now, this spring split of LEC is gonna be incredible. It's gonna be incredible. It sucks without the rats, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. You gotta take it for what it is. Gen.G Esports, man. Gen.G Esports. I'm sorry. Gen.G Esports. I cannot even look at you right now. I just can't even look at you. The community rating is pretty much said it right. I know some of them will be a little bit harsh, but the community pretty much said it best. They played the most absolute stinker right now. And remember, listen, I think I did my short, of course, talk about Biano and the whole choker popcorn situation. And I know it's a little bit of a joke that pretty much pissed off some of the fans, of course, including, like, you know, the Korean people. But performances like these pretty much justified the narrative. It pretty much justified the narrative. Gen.G got run over the map by G2 in all 3 games. It is amazing. The fact that you have the best 5-man lineup and you did this disappoints me. Disappoints me a lot. Now, here's the good news. I have good news though. Gen.G are still going to be the best team in the world going into MSI if they qualified and go into like Worlds if they qualified. But this is giving LCK a bad look right now. With T1 not being there, Life not being there, FearX looking fine but not great, and then Gen.G did this. It just makes the LCK look really bad right now. And by the way, for the first time since 2023 MSI, we're going to have a different champion that is not LCK. Yes, since JDG 2023, we will have a different champion that is not LCK for the first time in a long time. And by the way, this was a team that was supposed to bring the LCK to dominance. Now they just let the LCK down. Pretty much let it down. Like, I'm just so disappointed in Gen.G. So disappointed in them. So disappointed in them from all 3 games. Keen, my God. The Vayne top lane, and they're trying to face against Cassante. Okay, theory, yes, but it didn't work. It didn't work, and it was bad. Like, Canyon, okay, but never impactful. Chovy was fine, but listen, the Galio and Azir, like, no. Ruler, man, Ruler, that's not it. Even especially in your Nora, man. Hinduro. The Seraphine game was bad. The Nico, the Nico was okay, but it's just like Gen.G played poor. Gen.G played absolutely poor. But that is a testament to how great G2 is. G2 make Gen.G poor, just like Gen.G make every other team feels poor, including Lion. It is wild. It is the wildest thing ever. It is the absolute wildest thing ever. And by the way, we're gonna do the ratings. I'm gonna read the ratings for all 10 players. Yes, you're telling me right. I'm gonna read the community ratings for all 10 of these players. We're gonna praise G2 and then condemn Gen.G to the pits of hell. That's what we're gonna do. So let's look at Hans Summer Broken Blade first. First off, Broken Blade, a selfless series from the top laner. For the second straight match, Broken Blade did not pick or play to win lane. That said, what he lacked in lane presence, he more than made up for in team fights. His Ornn was excellent, aggressive, always at the front finding key players. His Sion completely shut down the Jace even in lane. Before, did I get this right? I think I get this. Oh, did I get this right? No. Oh, Jesus. I think I think I have the wrong series. Whoopsie. I think I have the wrong series. This was the G2 FearX series. Dumbass Hakeem. But I can tell you what, the community, by the way, is going to be singing a lot of praise with G2 and just destroy destroy Gen.G. That's pretty much like okay. I think this is a G2 Gen.G series. Okay, this is the Gen.G G2, community ratings. Okay, we got the right ratings. I made an oopsie, wrong series, but now we got the ratings for the G2 Gen.G series by the community standards. So we're gonna praise G2 and we're gonna condemn Gen.G to the pits of hell. Okay, here we go. This is for Gen.G first. Never found any. Okay, so this is first for Keen. Never found the answers despite an opponent who was practically handing him the lane on a silver platter with tank picks. Terrible itemization and complete invisible on Vayne. Got laughed off the map on Gwen, even though he definitely tried to reverse the tide. Deeply disappointing for a player who usually rolls over the competition in Korea. Like Vayne did not Fane did not even get a tank damage on him. He had a build that's not even damage. Where's the damage, dude? Anyways, I have to be really honest. No, not a 5, not a 5 again, not a 5. Give me a 3. Give him a 3. Move on. Let's go. Canyon. Oh boy. Canyon had returned to his best level this split. There was no doubt about it. But apparently even his best was far from enough against Skewmond, who turned off the lights at every level throughout the series. Oh, that makes sense. Game 1 on Xinjiao, 0-2-2 with just 6.8k damage. Game 2 on Vi, 1-4-4 with 5.6k damage. But to his credit, he tried a few plays in this one, catching Skewmond off guard. Game 3 on Bessa was the most humiliating. 1-3-1 with 4.7k damage, while Skewmond's Jarvan posted 17.6k. Disgusting! Behind in goal, behind objectives, behind an early kill participation, he really got the full treatment. He got beaten by the best jungler pretty much right now. Give him 3. I give him 3. I give him 3. At least he tried. But Skewmond, which is another planet. For Chovy. Oh, dear God. As is often the case when he loses, Chovy did not play badly. But he was not the brilliant force he usually is either. 2 alone on Ahri, underwhelming on Azir, where he got pushed around in the early game. His Galio had a decent start, but given the state of his bot lane, there was only so much impact the pick could deliver. The 12.2 KDA and 89.4 RFT rating he carried into this series already feel like a distant memory. I'll give him 4 for the pity points. Not a 6 that game. Come on. A 4 for the pity points, yeah. He was not bad, but not great either. Okay. Now for Ruler. The Ruler found a new one this Saturday. His Ashe in game 1 was invincible. 2-3-2 with 11k damage, while Han Sama Misfortune posted 26.9k. His Sever in game 2, 0-2-4, 20.2k, never found an angle. Even game 3, where the lane went slightly better, his Inara 1-2-2, 10.7k, could not turn the tide. Outclassed across the board. Yep. 3 for this one. He was outclassed. And for Duro. Oh my days. A series to forget, did not find a single aggressive timing, got bullied in lane throughout, and ate every single Labrov engage thrown his way. A rare sight given how dominant Duro had looked in the LCK recently. I mean, look at the ratings. Not a 2. Just a 2. Look at the ratings. It got 3.5, 2.5, 4, 3, and 2.5. G2 did this to them. G2 did literally this to them. It's insane. Absolute insanity that a team that has been dominating the LCK just do this to just be literally crushed to stones. To petals, I guess. I mean, wow. I'm just stunned, of course. Now for G2. For BROKENBLADE, once again on tank duty and once again absolutely immense. He completely neutralized Keen, who found no answers despite trying everything. The Vayne in game 2, the reneged into the Sion matchup in game 1, where BROKENBLADE somehow come out even. His teamfight impact was enormous throughout, particularly on Shen in game 3, where he even solo killed Chovy. 3 deaths in 6 games against the LCK across the tournament, a giant just like his picks. Like he said, he was not great, but he doesn't have to be great as long as he be stable and as long as he can be, manageable when it matters most. That's really good. I will give him a 9. Just give him a 9. Solid 9 out of 10. Not to our boy Skewmond. Oh my goodness. Let me just read, before I'm going to read the review, I wanted to show you something. A little tweet, by the way, by Robert Yip, who is the G2 Valorant, performance coach. And to any orgs that hire rookies and expect them to perform only to bench them after this one split. Rookies need 14 things. G2 things that G2 provided their league team, which by the way, G2 are like heads and shoulders above the rest. They need time, which by the way, I said the exact same thing yesterday. I said told you so. I told you so. What did I tell you? I told you so. Time. They need time to develop. They need opportunity to make mistakes and learn from them. There you go. A good coaching staff. G2 League have the best coaching staff in esports, no question. Dylan Falco, Roman, the performance coach, they got them all. Got them all in space. Okay, we got that. Number 3, teammates that have the mentality to work with rookies and mentor them. You got your Hans Summers, your BROKENBLADE, and your Caps. There you go. It's even more impressive when you look at how veteran and ready to win those players are. And by the way, there was a clip, by the way, when BROKENBLADE said that Skewmond saying, we're winning 3-0, we're winning 3-0, and then BROKENBLADE kind of eased him down, of course, and Skewmond just say, shut up, bro, we're winning 3-0 against the best team. That was incredible. That was so much fun. Absolutely so much fun. And number 4, support and protection from external negative sentiments online, creating an isolated bubble, more signal, less noise. This is the most important thing right here. Support and protection from external negative sentiments online, creating an isolated bubble, and more signal and less noise. Skewmond had that last year. Skewmond had that situation last year when he was a rookie, of course, when that team did not perform well, especially in winter, spring, and everybody, of course, have that horrible MSI tournament, of course. Didn't have a forgettable MSI tournament, of course, for G2 to forget. And many people would have done what NA teams have ever done, and just immediately said, bench him, replace another one, GG's go next, we don't need him anymore, we're just focusing on making good international performances, we just don't need a rookie anymore, just throw him. But G2 are the only team in the world, in the Western world, by the way, to just say to him, we're not going to bench you, I know you get some negative stuff, of course, but we're going to surround you with good people, surround you with good psychologists. We're surrounding you with good people, good veterans in your team, get you time to develop, hone your skills, and then come in next year, even though you're not as good last year, come here this year and have a different mindset, a different field, and get your reps in order and go hard on everyone. That's what Skewmond did. Shynox said that this is something that the NA needs to do, and I agree with this 100%. By the way, this is a guy who done G2 Valorant. G2 Valorant, who, by the way, I look up their results, they have the most consistent C we have ever seen from an NA Valorant team since their Ascension days. I don't even follow Valorant, but they have a really good Americas team and a really good, Gozen team, G2 Gozen team, of course, from the EMEA scene, and of course Game Changers, of course. So it's not just G2 League of Legends that has some decent results and doing good, developing and doing all kinds of stuff. It's a Valorant team, of course. Listen, G2 may not be the perfect team in the eyes of many. They have mistakes, of course. 2021 roster, the whole Ocelot, Tate thing. I'm not gonna go that deep. The vacay days. G2 not perfect. They are not a perfect team. But G2 are the only organization to do what Robert Yip said and executed it perfectly. And if I were an NA fan, I was saying, why can't we just do this? Why can't we just do this? Just do everything what Robert Yip said and just go with it. Just do that. The problem is, I'm not sure we even can do that. I'm not sure if we even can do that for North American fans. But I want them to try. I want Flagwest to try. I want Sentinels to try. Just don't bench rookie after one bad split, okay? Just don't do that. Don't bench like rookie players after one bad split, NA, okay? Let them grow. Let them have time to develop. You saw it. I mean, Masu did. They did it with Masu last year with Flagwest, and look what he done. Look what he did. By the way, he's a decent NA player, and he deserves to be praised. So now it's Masu trying to teach Griffin and hold him accountable and just make sure that he's okay and be stable and all kinds of stuff. If we can do what Robert Yip said, then I think NA will be better. Not great, but better. And see what G2 do in international performances. I wish for that for NA. I just want this for NA. Just this from NA. Please, do all of this from NA. Time, coaching staff, mentality, and to protect them from all the negative stuff. Just do all of those things, and I think they'll be fine. Will they do that? No. Anyways, let's go to Skewmond. Speaking of rookies who develop and improve in the veterancy, Skewmond had a close to flawless series, setting the tone everywhere on the map for his team. He would have taken a 10 if it wasn't for the few mistakes he made on Diane. But it was still an impressive game overall. Always laser focused on his win conditions, funneling everything through the bot lane, playing around Canyon's vision and caps to put the world's best jungler in check. His Jarvan 4 game was arguably the best individual performance of the entire tournament, single-handedly dismantling Cannon in a way we rarely see before transferring it to the rest of the team. If G2 built massive gold and dragon leads in every single game, they owe it primarily to Skewmond's aggression and decisiveness. With BLG solo laters, he is the best player at first stand, period. I agree. You got the solo laters from BLG, and then you got him. I think you can say he's a top 3 player right now in the world right now, based on this performance. He's probably my top 3 player of this entire tournament. That's pretty much no lie. What he has done to this team throughout this entire tournament, not just this game, for the entire tournament, is something to behold and something to be admired. So I will give him a rating. He wasn't perfect. But I'll give him a 9. He deserved that 9. Maybe a 10 will be perfect, but a 9 will be good. Wonderful performance by Skewmond. That is a player that G2 developed, that G2 have good veterancy, of course, that the person to give him time, and to have, of course, he got the negativity, of course, but he never let that thing seep him. He never let these things seep him, and look what he did. He put Canyon in his pocket, and it's just chef's kiss. Absolute chef kiss. Now, on to the rest of the players. We knew it. The EU GOAT needed to wake up for G to have a chance against Gen.G, and he set his alarm just in time. Not only did he hold his own in lane, particularly in games 2 and 3, but he simply had more impact in fights than CHOVY across the series. He did drop some resources by overgrouping in game 2, which could have been costly but had Gen.G recover momentum after their base fight, but the Akali game was something else entirely. Cass was everywhere, permanently holding priority over the Azir while roaming alongside Skewmond to suffocate the map. The Cass that EU Europe needed showed up on the biggest day. Insane team fights on Aurora game 1. He was good. He was not the best, but he was good overall. I mean, actually outplaying the best mid laner ever. I mean, it's insane. Another 9 for Caps. Well done, Caps. Tuhan Sama. The ball lane was the nerve center of G2's game plan against Fearx, and they answered the call once again against Gen.G. Hanzama simply ran away with the gold curve throughout the entire series, backing it up with stellar teammate performances. 2 mistakes across the entire BO, both covered by his teammates. Can't compete with the best ADCs internationally, they said. He smurfed on Duro in game 2 by finding a flash into turn with Varus, and has never let that go this lead. He was solid, absolutely incredible. Another 9 for him. Now for Labrov, the definition of perfection. Labrov just played the greatest series of his career. I mean, listen, yes, we talk about Skewmond being good. How about Labrov? Labrov, by the way, he's Greek, by the way. Another player that came into the team, got criticized a lot. Everybody wanted to bench him, but he also put up an incredible performance. Especially against the Fearx, of course, with that Nami game, of course. He was incredible. Skewmond was incredible. I think these are the 2 best pickups that G2 have pretty much ever. Many people that they say that losing Mickey X and then losing Yike is going to set G2 back. No. They find the players that they needed, develop them, and just, they're ablaze, man. They are absolutely ablaze. And this is the proof, baby. This is the proof. The definition of perfection. LeBron just played the greatest series of his career against the best team in the world. The timing could not have been more perfect. Relentless in his lane aggression, he never let Gen.G's bot lane breathe. His mid-game presence was equally suffocating. Always at Skewmond's side, looking for the next opening. The most remarkable part, playing Braum and Nautilus against the best team in the world. He died only once per game. Look at this. Look at this. One death. 3 deaths across the entire game. Combined with 11, 24, 35 assists? 3 deaths, 35 assists. Like, wow, that's like, almost 12 assists for every 1 death? That's amazing. Amazing. For a player historically known for his random solo deaths, that alone would be impressive. But it becomes extraordinary when you consider the pace he set, permanently pushing forward. Cap it off with an insane Lulu teamfight, surviving after drawing the full focus of Ruler's Yanara. The sole threat. I mean, the one free, especially that in, I think game 3 was when Gwen was kind of like cutting his sisters, of course, and trying like 3 low G2 health bars, and it just like, they didn't even kill him. They didn't even kill him. I mean, the discipline from like Lulu's, his Lulu performance was incredible. Onto himself for the entire duration of the fight. Immense. Hillsong World 2018 energy. Like, whew. When you got compared to 2018 Hillsong, it's like, praise. Absolutely praise. You deserve a 10. And that is it, man. G2 got a lot of praise from me and a lot of hate from Gen.G. And that is pretty much like amazing. Amazing. That it is the most amazing thing to ever happen to G2. This is the greatest thing to ever happen to Europe League of Legends in a long time. And you know what? I just cannot be happy. I'm happy for G2. I am happy for this G2 team. I'm happy that they did this. And regardless of what happened, yeah, it is what it is. So, in case anybody noticed, I went to 41 minutes about glazing G2. I did not even get to Gen.G BLG. Because, to be honest, BLG just crushed the souls of a Gen.G. I mean, after that stinker of a performance against Lion, I think they're going to get clapped by BLG, and they did. Especially Anivia support. Anivia support, my goodness, on. On was on a heater, of course. So, without further ado, it is time for me to preview the finals coming up. And before we do that, let's just compare the two teams, of course, throughout this entire thing. G2, it's 11-3 in favor of BLG. Dominating series. And if you look at the last, head-to-head in terms of games, 14-6 in favor of BLG in the games. The only time G2 has ever beaten BLG was a 2-1 series against EWC. But that is coming off a horrible MSI performance by G2. This was a G2 team that they can't even figure it out, of course. This is a G2 team that lost to Koi, then looking really badly against Furia in MSI, and then it was just downhill from there. And losing the flag was on the 4th of July by you did not help as well. So, yeah, G2 in the last 2 series, best of 3 and best of 1 did well. They have never beaten BLG in a best of 3. They have never, actually best of 5. They have never beaten BLG in a best of 5. A couple of times they did it, and then the last, 1, 2, 3 times, including this tournament, they have never beaten BLG in a best of 5. And the odds are stacked against G2, let's be honest. The odds are literally stacked against G2. But consider where they were, consider the whole thing, maybe G2 might do something. Maybe G2, based on the back of those performances, might do something. I will give BLG the 3-1 and 3-0, of course, whatever. But the chances of G2 winning a game or two and make it interesting, it has now piqued my interest. Now, we're going to do some stats. It's going to be a quick one. We're going to do some stats. So, yeah, these are the stats, by the way. G2 and BLG has dominated KDA, dominated the CKPM. Gold percentage is GPR is like 1.97. Also, by the way, I think I forgot about the keys. Let me just look at the keys. Oh, Jesus, I forgot the keys. Oh, there it is. These are the keys, by the way. So average combined gold per minute. I'm just going to drag over there. Drag over there. There you go. So combined kills per minute, they're really ahead. And then you got ahead on goal on goal rate percentage. I got it from Oracle Lister, by the way. And then goal spend percentage at higher BLG. Early game rate, really high. Gen.G, and then mid to late game, which is pretty much important. G2 as second. Imagine if you're a G2 fan and saying you're the second best team behind BLG in mid-late rate. Like, what the heck? First blood, higher. I mean, BLG just dominated almost every single statistics. I mean, G2, the only reason why G2 get Elder is because they got one header, of course, a game. But BLG just dominated in terms of statistics. In terms of the overall, laning, of course, Bin is pretty much higher, although Skewmond had the kill participation, of course. But everything else is pretty much dominated by BLG. And then, of course, you got Skewmond, who's having an absolute whale of a performance. 71.1% of kill participation, and everything else was okay, ignore these things. But everything else was so good. Skewmond is pretty much like the main player for that team. And then Caps, did not having a great first stand, but he was decent. He was decent, of course, and that's what you want against the golden left hand of Knight, dominating all the stats, of course. Well, not some of the stats. Damage percentage is pretty much high in caps, close in gold percentage, and all kind of stuff. Damage is basically caps, so he's done well. Han Sama, who's now having a glow up at this tournament after so many people saying he'd been doubted. He's facing up against Viper, and Viper has been dominating the damage, of course. Yeah, 902 damage to 778 throughout the tournament. I mean, bro, that's a brutal one. And they got Lebrovin on, who, okay, again, supports are not getting high number, but you can say that 9.8, 7.5, 305, and 230 damage. I mean, again, support is not doing anything. But based on, actually, just give me a minute. So I'm going to do some, on the percentage based on Polymarket to see who's going to win. So here's the thing. I haven't even checked on the Poly market throughout this entire tournament because it was a fast tournament. I never even check about the odds and all kinds of stuff. And of course, Poly market is a waste of time in my place. But if you look at the standings, BLG are going in as a 70% favorite, which is not surprising considering this is the LPL number 1 and they're already beating G2, and consider the history between these two. It makes sense. BLG are like head and shoulders above the rest, 71%, but it's still the same. But if you have told me that G2 will have a 29% chance of winning, fine. I haven't even checked, but pre-odds, pretty much saying that, I don't know, G2 are going in like a 6 or 7% favorite. I think you could say that G2 before this entire tournament were like a 6 or 7% favorite. But now they're like 29%. Look at that. Look at a jump. 21% favorite. They were like 8%. Oh, by the way, let me just look at the other odds. Look at the other odds. Man, a lot of people are betting Gen.G $107,000. Like, that is rough. That is rough. Whoever made those money, that is rough. That is absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. But it goes to show you how unpredictable league is, how unpredictable and chaotic league can be. And I'm going to close off with this. Like, regardless of what happened tomorrow, even if G2 gets swept and beaten, that's fine. Cool. 100%. But regardless of what happened, what they have done here today is going to make every LEC fan and Western fans feel good about the rest of the year, especially when we go to Worlds in Western region. It will make them feel good. It will make G2 feel good because now they have to go into Europe and feels like, hey, we did something that you guys can't even do. Now we are the best team in the world, and you have to come and get us. And they're gonna get. And I will tell you what. Every team in the LEC will give G2 their best shot. And many people will say, oh, G2 will lose some games. That's fine. It's all about the long-term game. It's all about the long-term game. And G2 knows that. They've been scrimming. They've been showing results. And listen, let's be honest. I don't know what Roman's going to be paying tomorrow, but I will tell you what. It will be Brazilian vibes right now. And I get to watch a Western team in an LEC finals for the first time since I ever done this channel. I've been covering this channel for like 3 to 4 years now. And I have never seen a Western team be in the final. I have never even talked about a Western team being in the final. Now, the reality is here. The reality is here, and I'm so happy about it. Before that, we get to the, let me just see, the road to the finals, by the way. In the opening round, G2, 3-0 T Secret Wells, and then lost to BLG, and then beat FearX 3-0, and then beat Gen.G 3-0. Like, look at these results. Oh. It's going to make a grown man cry. And then BLG 3-2 FearX, which is what the opening round of the tournament did not look great. Then beat G2 3-0, and then just easily beat JDG. So based on how these results go, BLG did not look particularly well, and they did beat FearX and JDG, but what do you expect? FearX are decent, but they're not great, and then JDG are like pile of trash. So that's it. But G2, after that loss against BLG, have now ramped up a different letter. And now they are pretty much not only the crowd favorite, but everybody's favorites to win the whole thing. Based on the performance against Gen.G, based on the player's performance. And right now, wherever happens, it's like G2 are playing with house money. G2 are literally playing with house money right now. So, while I think that G2 might have a chance to win, and while I think I want a Western team to win an international tournament for the first time in a long time, and I want that to happen, I really do, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to give the G2 a game to like feel good in themselves, and then BLG win the whole thing. Now, many people will clip this, and I will be egg on my face if I get it wrong or G2 wins, and I'll be clipping the face. Cool. If what they did against Gen.G today just, put eggs in our faces, then maybe this finals tomorrow morning. By the way, it's 8 a.m. Like, Christ almighty. 8 a.m. for a final. What the hell, Riot? But then again, if we get to, like, first stand final and then Carabao Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester City, I'm glad. It is what it is. But I'm gonna be glad no matter what. This is going to be a coronation for G2 after all the doubters said your team is not good enough to win. I think, let me just be honest, I have them 6th in my rankings. I have this team 6th in my rankings. Let's just be honest. I have G2 Esports 6th in my rankings. Like, at least top 5. Top 5 in my rankings. Above Ferex, above JDG, above Gen.G. Below these teams. They are below these teams. And now they are facing the number 2 best team and pretty much the best team in the world since Gen.G in BLG. If they pull it off, great. If they don't, it is what it is. But if I were a European fan, if I were an LEC fan, I will wake up at 3 a.m. tomorrow to witness history in the making, regardless of what happened. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I know this entire thing was a G2 glazing section, but you know what? Hey, listen, they earned their flowers. They earned their moment. This is the greatest moment to ever witness in League of Legends history, and they have earned all the time and all the praise that they needed. And you know what? It makes League of Legends excited. Having competition and having moments like this is making League excited and making me excited, and it feels like, oh my god, this year is going to be absolutely fun. And you know what? G2, thank you for making League of Legends fun again. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Anyways, enjoy the finals, everybody. Enjoy the moment. We will see you all tomorrow to see if G2 make history or if BLG wrestle the dominance back to LPL for the first time in 3 years. My name is Mackie. Have yourselves a wonderful night and have a wonderful morning and the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you next time.